friend. Welcome to the Fruitful Fertility Podcast. Do you want to better understand your body so you can get pregnant naturally? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling how to ovulate on your own or natural fertility tips? Do you feel lost on what your next step should be? Hey, I'm Tori, a registered nurse, Christian fertility coach, and your new TTC BFF. When I started my fertility practice, I realized how much the modern medical system was missing when it came to supporting women trying to get pregnant. I knew God had called me to this space to bridge that gap and provide more natural fertility support and education. With time and a little trial and error, I found a foundational way to assess infertility cases and get better results. In this podcast, you will finally understand how your body and fertility work, support to stay off that emotional roller coaster, and a proven strategy to improve ovulation and increase your fertility naturally. If you're ready to get started, drop those ovulation sticks and grab a pen because, girl, you look fertile to me. If you have been around for any length of time, you have heard me talk about HTMA, 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 why it's my favorite, why I love it. If you are new here, welcome, and don't worry, this episode is really going to catch you up. So if you're like, what the heck is HTMA? I'm going to go a little more in depth about that today. But I really wanted to close the gap and help you guys make the connection of not just what HTMA is, but why it helps with fertility and especially unexplained infertility. Because if you're listening to this podcast, you've likely been trying for a while and you're not really understanding what the problem is and your doctors are not giving you any help. And that's a really frustrating place to be because it's hard to know what to do to fix it if you don't know what's causing the problem. So we're going to dive into that today, what I love about HTMA, why it's different, how unexplained infertility is not really unexplained, and the top three trends on HTMA that I see, and how mineral balancing helps you improve your fertility, balance your hormones, and finally get pregnant and stay pregnant. So we're going to jump right in. And so sorry if you can hear all the background noise. I feel like there's cars racing down my road, somebody's cutting grass, and this is the real world. I'm sitting at my kitchen bar top, and this is where I record my episodes, and I have neighbors, and so sometimes it's not perfect, but hopefully it's not distracting. Okay, so what is HTMA and why is it different? HTMA stands for Hair Tissue Mineral Analysis, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We look at your hair, we actually cut your hair, look at the mineral levels in it, and analyze what those mineral levels are kind of telling us. It's like a little puzzle piece, really. It's not exactly black and white. It's a little bit more of you get certain levels that tell you certain things are going on, and then from your intake form and having a conversation with you, I can usually put the pieces together of, okay, this is why this level looks this way, this is why this is depleted, things like that. The reason this is different than just going to your doctor's office or the fertility clinic and getting blood work done or any other kind of hormone level taken is because those are just a snapshot of that day. If you've had blood labs drawn and you've had to go in on cycle day 3 and cycle day 7 or 10 DPO, you know that you have to go at certain different times of your cycle to get certain levels drawn. And so that's true for all the other labs too, as far as cholesterol or iron or liver enzymes, any of those other things you can look at on blood labs. But it's just a snapshot of that day. So if you went back the next day, you might get completely different numbers. And not likely totally different numbers, but you could get different numbers. And so HTMA shows us more of what's going on over a longer period of time, what is continually happening. And HTMA really gives us a glance at what's been going on the last 3 months of your life. In the last 3 months, what's been going on with Susie? How have her stress levels been? And the different mineral levels tell us different things. And I won't go into great detail about exactly what they tell us because it would make this episode very long and very sciencey and very boring. But the good news is that I am currently working on my DIY HTMA program where you're going to get a test mailed to your door. You're going to send in your sample. When I get the results, I'm going to send you a recorded video going over what your results mean. And then the course, you're going to have a course that tells you exactly what to do. I'll even go over it a little bit in your video, but the course will have that repeated information, links to shop any supplements you need, diet tips, all of it. It'll tell you exactly what to do to improve your fertility and find answers, especially if you have unexplained infertility. I will explain it for you. I know that's something you've been missing, and it's truly my favorite part of this test. But all that information will be in the DIY and the significant ratios and all that good stuff. But the minerals really paint a picture of all the things that are going on, and it gives us more than just surface level information. So a blood lab may show you, okay, your progesterone is low, but the better question is, why is your progesterone low? It's not that we want to know that our progesterone is low and then use progesterone cream to bring it up. I mean, we absolutely can use that. That's a tool at our disposal. But we want to know why it's low in the first place and try to improve it from a root cause approach so that it's just naturally elevated to the place it should be all the time. And we can do that with minerals. Minerals are the spark plugs that make our bodily systems work and thrive, and so we need the right amount. Okay, so HTMA is just a test. It's non-invasive. You don't have to go to the doctor. It involves no needles. It might be a little scary if you let your husband cut your hair. That is the biggest fear people have, and I totally understand because I actually did mine last night. I haven't done one in a while, and so I wanted to see my numbers, and I let my husband help me cut it last night. And that was, it's a little bit scary process. I usually cut it myself. You actually don't need any help, but it's okay to get some help. This is a good trust exercise for you and your husband. But it's such a great test. And so the way that it can really help explain unexplained infertility is through what I call priorities. And again, this is going to be in the DIY HTMA program, and I will tell you what your priority is. But these are the top 3 that I see the most. The first one is what I call a low NAK ratio, which means low sodium to potassium. And I would say this is honestly 75% of my people. This is where most of you guys are at, is a low NAK ratio, which just means we don't have enough sodium and potassium, and especially in relation to each other. And this tells me that we're dealing with some kind of chronic stress. We're dealing with poor adrenal function, and that can impact hormone production. It can decrease cervical mucus, and it can weaken or delay ovulation. So just by not having enough sodium to potassium or not having the right ratio can impact that healthy hormone production that we need for a healthy pregnancy. The next one I see a lot is what is called a calcium shell, and it's called that because you literally have so much calcium coming out that it creates a shell around the cells, and it makes it hard for things to get in or out. This can lead to things like low progesterone. It can lead to things like poor detoxification. So even if you've switched all your products out of your home, if you're still getting exposure, which you will, we live in a world where we cannot be away from it 100%, your body will have a harder time detoxing things, which will definitely influence hormone balance. I see calcium shell a lot with people that have decreased thyroid, use, I guess is the right word. It's not necessarily that their body's not making enough thyroid hormone, it's that their body just can't utilize it, which also impacts hormone production and hormone balance. So that one can definitely affect having a healthy pregnancy, implantation, staying pregnant, those kinds of things. The last one I see, not as often, but I do see it, fairly routinely, is what we call a 3 to 4 lows, which means that the first 4 macrominerals, calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium, are all depleted. Every single one of them. This is an extreme burnout pattern, and your body just doesn't have the stores to ovulate, to carry a healthy pregnancy. It just doesn't have the gas in the tank. And so as we replenish those stores, then your body starts to feel safe. And it's like, okay, now I can prioritize healthy hormones, ovulation, a healthy pregnancy, because my depleted stores have been restored. So everybody's a little bit different. Each test, what's causing that chronic stress is different for each person. Sometimes it's people pleasing, sometimes it's personality, sometimes it's the products they're using. They're using too many toxic products. Sometimes it's lifestyle habits. It's different for each person, which is why I love when I get these intake forms for you to be as detailed as possible. I want to know every little thing. If you're like, I know this doesn't seem fertility related, but me and my mom haven't talked in 2 years, and we have some family issues. Okay, it is fertility related. I promise it is. So when you come into the DIY HTMA, you get that intake form. I want you to be so super detailed, because that really helps me understand where chronic stress is coming from, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, wherever it might be coming from. So How does mineral balancing help then? So we have this test, it's non-invasive, it gives us a really good idea of what's going on long-term in your body. We talked about how the different priorities, as we'll call them, help explain unexplained infertility and why your hormones might not be exactly where they should be. And so then how mineral balancing comes in and helps is because we have the root cause. We know what's causing the mineral depletion after we talk a little bit. You're really specific on your intake form. And then the test tells us exactly what to do to fix it. So if you're one of these 75% of women I work with that has low NAK ratios, I know exactly what to do. I know you need more sodium. I know you need more potassium. I know we need to talk about where the chronic stress is coming from. I know you need adrenal cocktails because your adrenals are kaput. It tells me exactly what to do. So I'm not guessing at what you need to do to improve your fertility. I know. The paper tells me. The test tells me. And this is just, I just could go on and on about this forever. I love it so much. But this is where you quit wasting time. Instead of being in these Facebook groups and taking advice from this person and that person and trying yet another supplement and wondering if it's going to work for you and just feeling lost, and you're continually looking for the next thing to do because you're not really sure you're on the right track in the first place, I'm going to give you a roadmap for you. It's not generic advice. It's not just progesterone cream because your progesterone is low. It is, hey, here's what's going on in your body. Here's why it's likely going on. We can talk about that together. And here's the exact plan you need to restore that balance so that your body feels safe and you can get pregnant. And I have seen this work over and over again. If you haven't listened to Haley's story here on the podcast, go back and listen to it. She was trying to get pregnant for 5 years and was never pregnant. No miscarriages, no nothing. 5 years. We started working together. We did her test. We got her a plan. And in 5 months, she was pregnant. I've got another client. I'm not going to say her name because she hasn't announced her pregnancy herself yet. And I like to give everybody that time before I start getting excited and sharing names, but we worked together for 7 months. She was in a 3-4 lows pattern that I talked about earlier. She was totally burnt out. We looked at the HTMA. We got her a plan. She stuck to it. We tweaked it if we needed to. And now she's pregnant. Now she's like 10 weeks pregnant, I think. And this can be true for you too. You just need the blueprint, and that is exactly what HTMA gives us. And again, I love it because you don't have to make doctor's appointments. You're not put on a waiting list. It involves no needles. It is just simple. You send your sample in. I will give you a recorded video with your results. You'll have a plan, and all you have to do is stick to it. And it's always an easy plan. I am not one of these people that's going to come at you with like, oh, your test says you need to eat only figs and dirt, and that is your diet. It's not like that. I am a real person who lives in the real world, and I like to give you really simple and manageable tips that you can incorporate. So if this is something that you are interested in, please get on the wait list. It is below in the show notes. That is going to go live July 8th. I'm working on getting all my edits and all the little things done right now to have it prepped and ready to go. So that will be available July 8th. And for anyone who enrolls in that very first week, like from July 8th to whatever the date is after that, I should know that by now, but I don't. But in that first week, will be put into a giveaway to win a 1-hour call with me, a free 1-hour call to ask me all your questions. I would probably suggest waiting till after you get your test so you can get your video, kind of absorb it, and then get on the call with me to ask me any questions, and we can go really in depth in that 1 hour, and that is free to you just for enrolling in the program. So get in that giveaway, get in that program. It's going to be so great. You're going to finally get answers. You're going to finally have a plan that makes you feel confident, and everything's just going to feel easier. And I can't wait to do it with you. Okay, guys, I love you. I will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode touched your heart or taught you something, I'd be honored if you share it with a friend who could use the information too. And if you want to be the real MVP, then would you also take 30 seconds to tap those 5 stars at the bottom and leave a written review telling me what you're loving? It lights me up to know this podcast is really helping you. Don't forget, you're super cute and super fertile, so meet me back here next week and let's keep chatting and learning together.